welcome back to another cake vlog. It is actually Thursday today. I wasn't going to start vlogging because I thought Thursday was a little bit too late. And then I remembered I'm following rules that I've made myself. I usually try to film like a whole week, and I thought, I have made these rules, I can change these rules if I want. So we're going to start on Thursday instead. This is where I left my work yesterday. So these are two 6-inch cakes that have been carved and ganached. And this is what I have been working from. So this is one of Abby's Squishmallows. These are super popular toys. They come in all different shapes and sizes and lots and lots and lots of different characters. They're super soft and squishy and they live up to their name. But I'm making one as a bee and one as a panda, and they're going to sit on the same board. But I have to finish these today because they'll be collected tomorrow morning. So I also didn't want to show my face on camera too much because I'm trying to get used to these temporary teeth. You can probably see them already. They stick out like a sore thumb. But last week on Friday, I went in and had all the prep work done, which means they shaved probably about 7 or 8 teeth across the front, down into those little pegs, ready for crowns. Now these are temporary, they're acrylic, bright white, too big, very bulky, but they were put in to see how I would like my new crowns to be. So basically I go back on Monday and say this one's too long, this one's too short. I'm not a fan. Adam has just laughed for 3 days straight. He can't, every time he looks at me, he can't stop laughing. And he says it's like the scene from Addams Family where Wednesday smiles for the first time and scares all the other children. Because every time I laughed and smiled, he started laughing at my teeth. Kai calls them donkey teeth from Shrek, but I have to agree, I find them very big and very ridiculous. So I've got to wear these until at least Monday when I go back in. I don't think they're going to take them out Monday, they're just going to ask me what I want to change about them. But it's been very difficult. They're actually quite painful because I've been given another round of antibiotics to try and fix this. Now that I've had 2 root canals on the same tooth and it hasn't worked, I'm on a round of antibiotics to see if that will clear it finally back up. But now I have pain on this side. I can't eat anything sweet at all. So we went to the cinema on Monday. We got the free audience tickets and we went to see the film called Black Phone. Highly recommend it. Adam's not a fan of horror films. It's more like a horror / thriller. I'd say it was more of a thriller on the thriller side, but there are some slight horror scenes in it. But I loved it, Kai liked it. I think Adam enjoyed the film, but he just doesn't enjoy being jump scared because he flew out of his seat a couple of times. But I just think that's hilarious. But we had taken some sweets with us, and I'm not a massive sweets person. I don't eat gummy sweets a lot. I'm more on the chocolate side of things and pastry side of things. But I attempted to eat sweets and it wasn't a good idea. It wasn't the, like, you know when you got like a hole in your tooth and it will hurt for a little bit. It was really intense pain. I thought, I can't eat anything sweet. Yeah, that's where we're up to. I didn't really want to film too much with the old teeth in, so I might just be pointing you at cakes for a little bit. But I'm in this morning. It is probably almost 8 o'clock now, and I'm going to get my apron on, get ready, and see how far I can get with these. I'm all done. It is 4:45, so I've only got 15 minutes left. I haven't photographed it yet, but what I'm going to do is I'm going to tidy the studio instead in 15 minutes and then go home, have tea, do the boring food shop, and then I'm going to come and take pictures of it properly, box it up and invoice it because that takes longer than 15 minutes and I don't want to rush it. So Here is the finished poppet board. It's roughly like a 16-inch circle. This took a long time. And then we've got the squishmallows of the bee and the panda. Here is the little hedgehog one for comparison. So they're all roughly the fat, chubby same size. But the weather has just picked up here. It is now very, very warm. I think it's 23 degrees in the studio and I've got the windows open, so hopefully it'll cool down tonight and I can get it boxed ready for collection tomorrow. It's just gone 8:30 now in the evening and we've come back to box the cake up. This is a wedding box that I've cut down because obviously it's not going to fit in anybody's car if I left it full size, and it certainly doesn't need to be full size for these two dinky cakes, but it is on a 16-inch board, and all my regular boxes are usually, I get my boxes about 13-inch wide, so the board wouldn't fit in those ones, so I've had to just chop it down, but it cuts nice and clean with a scalpel, and then I've just taped the sides up. So we're going to pop this in the car now and take it home. It's now the next day and the cake has gone. That got collected roughly about 10:30, and I have spent the morning editing some of this vlog and also editing the Squishmallow tutorial because I filmed the making of the bee and the panda and also the very time consuming poppet board. So those are coming up as tutorials soon. That's probably going to take me well into the afternoon, but we also have Kai's prom today. So it's Kai's prom. He has now left school, he's finished all his GCSEs, and it's also dinner time, so Adam will be home for his dinner any minute. I have about 8 minutes to get his dinner ready. We're just on crackers today, crackers, cheese and chutney. I also picked up some hummus. I'm not a massive fan, just thought we'd try something a little bit different with peppers. But yeah, I am dressed as usual. I am always dressed. Just got the robe on. I thought we were supposed to be getting some nice hot weather this weekend, but it doesn't. It looks quite grey and it's cold in the living room, so pop the old robe on. But yeah, just wanted to say hello. This is going to be me. I'm going to be sat here for a long time. I've got emails to do confirming some other changes. There's still, even now in 2022, so many people are having to still change wedding details, whether that's swapping venue, swapping themes. So yeah, that is my Friday. I've been possessed by Vecna.
Trying not to move my eyes, basically.
Not even talking.
Hang on. Wait, it's not ready. My eyes are getting dry.
Oh. Oh, this is going to take forever. She rises to go, oh. They're just like, alright, we'll do this one.
It's getting tickling now.
It It is now way past 11 o'clock at night. Kai made it to his prom on time after the big mammoth glitter session. He had green matching glitter on his face because, like, the girls always get to accessorise with their bags and their hair pieces and their jewellery, and there's not much for boys to do. So we went down the glitter route and found some complementing coloured glitter and attached it to his face with Vaseline, which worked very well. And after that we had an absolute mammoth photo shoot in the garden because my mum and dad come over and wanted pictures. So we took plenty of pictures in the garden. He set off, he got there for about 7:30, and then he's due to come out at about 11:30. So Adam's just gone to collect him. And in that entire time we have been sitting and watching a programme called The Orville. This is on Disney Plus, and it absolutely takes the mick out of Star Trek. Now, I'm not a Star Trek fan, I don't watch Star Trek, but I'm watching The Orville because it's not serious. It is very much a comedy take on Star Trek. We are a good 11, 12 episodes in now. There's some really good characters. If you know what I'm talking about and have managed to watch Orville, there's a character called Bortus who I find very funny. But I've not heard anybody else speak about it. I don't know whether it's like a hidden gem or people aren't interested in it or just haven't found it, but I've never heard anybody talk about it yet. But I think it does have a few series. It's on Disney Plus if you want to watch it, and it's Seth MacFarlane who has written it and is also in it. But we are absolutely knackered. The second he gets in, we're going to bed. We're not used to these late nights. And then it's going to be a pretty slow day tomorrow. All we've got planned to do is try and finish off the garden if the weather is kind to us. We've had some nice sunny weather this weekend, so we spent the day all day in the garden yesterday trying to tidy it up. I painted 2 of the seats and I've still got the table to paint today, and Adam spent most of the time doing all the grass with his little hoover. It's like a leaf blower, but it also sucks as well, so he went round the whole garden getting rid of all the leaves. We did the tiny mini pond we've got, we emptied all that out because it was like 80% leaves and only 20% water, so we took most of the leaves out but left quite a bit of it in because we've got 2 frogs in there, and it's full of snails as well, so they'll eat all the bugs and snails, so we just left some of that in, got it all cleaned out. But today is Sunday and we're off to the Top Brink, which is one of Adam's favourite places to go to eat. Kai had booked this for Father's Day, so obviously Father's Day was a long time ago now, but we're just getting around to going this weekend. But we picked a really nice day for it. But we'll show you a bit of the Top Brink because it's based in Todmorden, which is actually in Yorkshire, so we live right on the edge where Lancashire meets Yorkshire, so literally we go over the hill and we're in Yorkshire. What are you laughing at?
Laughing at that traffic warden.
Oh, I didn't see.
There's a traffic warden in the back beyond.
So yeah, we're actually in Yorkshire now. It only takes like 5 minutes to get here, but it's another. Oh, they're giving people tickets.
Yeah.
All right, we're on like a really random country road. Let me show you. Hardly anybody up here. Well, there's a lot of cars,
but
but
up there, isn't there?
oh, is that the mini beach? I think there's a hidden beach somewhere. It's documented. They call it a secret beach, but it's actually right up in the hills in the countryside. But yeah, we've just spotted some traffic wardens on this random road. But the Top Brink restaurant is, well, it's like a pub restaurant. It's just at the end of this road, but it's got some nice scenery, a lot of green. And it's actually quite high up as well, so when you get a bit further back, you can see a lot into Todmorden down the hills. I have arrived with 2 J2Os.
Yeah, but what were you going to use the sign for anyway? It's not a sign. Am I in that?
Yeah. I was trying to go over your head, but I just got you. It might not be a radio, it might be. Good morning, it is now Tuesday. I spent yesterday baking a cake. I have no orders this week, but I decided to put in some cakes that I needed to make. So I've got a challenge cake coming up. So as you know, as part of the brigade, the cupcake and cherry tiers have a bi-monthly cake challenge where they choose a theme and then they create a cake. So I also take part in this. Mine goes up as a tutorial, and then everybody else's pieces that they made go into that video as well, where you can vote on them. So I decided to bake the cake for that. Probably going to do that this week instead. I also went back to the dentist yesterday to give them feedback on the teeth. You may have noticed a very slight change. These are just, like I said, the temporary acrylic ones, so they're all in one piece. They're not individual teeth. And they're not very well made. Like, that's the whole point. They're just tester ones. But she's filed down the two front teeth to make them shorter, just to see how they would look shorter, which is because I wanted them not as big. But she's left the other teeth. It was just to give them an idea of how they might look when they were shorter. But there is now one longer than the other, and there's quite like a bump and a sharp bit on it, but I've only got to wear these for another couple of weeks because the crown should be ready at the end of this month. So fingers crossed they look all right after all the changes. But I also wanted to pop on quickly and chat about cake orders. And I wasn't sure whether to do this or not because I don't want it to come across like I'm whinging at the people who have cancelled them. I just want to use it as like a lesson and hopefully give people an idea of how it can affect small businesses. So this has got nothing to do with the people who have cancelled the orders. But I should have made 2 wedding cakes this month. I am now no longer making those wedding cakes because they've been cancelled. Now, these things happen. Weddings do get cancelled from time to time, but the problem is they were cancelled a long time ago, but I've only just found out about that. So these cakes were booked in, say, 2020, 2021. And once you have paid a deposit, they're booked in. Once I have a deposit, you are fully booked into the diary. That is it. I am only making your wedding cake that 1 week, nobody else's, which means that is my only wage as well for that week. So this month, with 2 wedding cakes down, just as a complete bare minimum, even if they got the minimum quantity, my minimum order value is now £300. So I am at least £600 down this month with those 2 wedding cakes being cancelled. Now, if those wedding cakes were a usual amount that I would make, that could be anywhere up to £1,200 that I have lost this month. So at a minimum I've lost 600, and at a maximum I've lost maybe 1,200, 1,300. Now, I don't know about you, but I cannot afford to lose a wage like that. Imagine you going into work and your boss saying, oh, you've got 2 weeks off, but you're not being paid, and there's absolutely nothing you can do about it. You can't argue it. That's it. You've got 2 weeks off and you're not getting paid, so how are you going to pay your bills? And that's the reality for small businesses when that happens. And I know what you're going to say, did you not take a deposit? Of course I take a deposit. I take £100 deposit. The trouble is that was paid 2 years ago. So that £100, I've already had that 2 years ago. And it's nowhere near going to cover bills for the month. So the problem is I cannot fill those spaces because you were only given like 2 to 3 weeks notice, and there's nobody hopefully on this planet looking for a wedding cake with 2 weeks notice. The inquiries that I am getting now are cakes for 2024, if that gives you some sort of idea of how far in advance people usually book their wedding cakes. So nobody's going to take up my offer of a wedding cake for 2 weeks time. It's just impossible. And usually in this sort of situation, I would then go to my plan B, which is to make chocolate bars, just because I need a wage. I have bills to pay like everybody else, and that money has gone. So I would usually go to plan B, make some chocolate bars just to try and recoup a little bit of wage. But we're in the middle of a heat wave. It's not an ideal time to be doing chocolate. It's not going to set properly. It's probably not going to temper properly. I do not like to post chocolate out when it's this weather because they're sat in post vans, in hot post vans, and then they can melt in the post. So it's not ideal. And I also can't do a full design and launch and sell within 2 weeks. So as it stands, I have very minimal wage this month. Again, this has got nothing to do with the people who have cancelled the wedding cake. I am not getting at them. I'm just using this as a moment of, if you have something booked in and you need to cancel it, please do it as soon as possible. Don't leave it until that person emails you and says, hi, I've got a cake booked in for you, and then cancel it. Cancel it as soon as you can, because it will give the person a chance to try and fill that space up if they can, because a lot of people don't have a backup. I don't make 5 cakes a week. There are a few people out there who do 5 birthday cakes a week. So if one drops off, at least they've still got the other 4, whereas mine's a complete other end of the spectrum where I only make 1 cake a week, and it's quite a high price cake. Like, my minimum order value is 300, so I would get at least £300 that week. And then when that's cancelled, there's no backup. And to have that happen twice in the same month. And also, I already booked a week off at the end of this month because it's my birthday and we're going on holiday just for over the weekend. So that's like 3 weeks I've not got any money. But yeah, that's just the reality of owning a small business. I just wanted to put that out because I know there's some people that will be in the same position, or maybe you have something booked and you're not a cake maker at all, and this just gives you the push to maybe email them. If you've cancelled an event or cancelled something, please let them know as soon as possible. But yeah, I don't want people to watch this and think I'm blaming the people who have cancelled. It is what it is. It's just one of those things that's happened, and I thought, I wonder if there's anybody out there in the same sort of position. It's only due to the pandemic. Everybody's had to like reschedule, and they've rescheduled but then forgotten, like, because they've rescheduled that many times, or they've just decided to cancel and kind of forgotten what they've booked and with who. And only when it comes random like 3 weeks away and I'm contacting them like, hey, we haven't like designed your wedding cake yet. But yeah, it's very tough to have such a big drop in wage when you are expecting to earn a certain amount and then it just gets swept away. But I have had a few orders in my shop, so I just want to say thank you. So I want to say thank you to Hannah, who has ordered some A4 weekly planner pads, so I'm going to send those out tomorrow. Helen, who also ordered some weekly planner pads. So I'm going to go and get those sent out for you tomorrow. Thank you very much if you have even just looked in my little online shop. The weekly planner pads are still very popular. Buying one should last pretty much nearly all year. So you buy one and you've got like a whole year's usage nearly. Because obviously there's 52 weeks and I think it's like 50 pages. So you're only missing out on 2 weeks, which you might not use over Christmas anyway. And it's basically just to help plan your working week from Monday to Sunday. All the boxes are the same size. And I used one religiously when I worked at home. I had it here on my desk and it lived here on my desk. And I wrote in like on a Tuesday, make ganache, bake 8-inch round. And it's so satisfying that when you've done your jobs, you get to highlight all the jobs off and see what still needs to be done that day and plan out all your week, and you can just see it right on there on one page and you know exactly what you have to do that week. So yes, they are still very popular, and thank you very much for your orders. But if you feel like grabbing something from the shop, now is a great time. You know, I've even got Christmas cards in there. We're only in July, but I have packs of Christmas cards if you want those. Apparently that's a thing. I've been seeing a lot of it on Instagram, and especially by Disney. They call it Christmas in July, and Disney have brought all the Christmas ornaments out to buy. And I've noticed a lot of other small businesses jumping on that bandwagon and selling some of their Christmas items in July, because apparently that's a new thing now. I'm all for it. I love a bit of Christmas. I've actually started my Christmas shopping as well. In the BRIGADE. I know I talk about the BRIGADE a lot, but I just assume that everybody watches every video, and they don't. Sometimes this might be the first video you were watching because I get new subscribers every day, which is lovely. So the Cherry Brigade is a little cake community I set up. I'm keeping it small, so we do have a limited amount of members, because I feel sometimes the bigger the group gets, the more conflict and the more harder it is to manage. I just feel like having a small, tight-knit community, it feels more of a community. It feels like a family when you get to know all the members. Membership starts from £2 a month, so that's very little, £2 a month. And it gives you access to the Facebook group where we're all chatting away, and you get to ask unlimited cake questions. Anything you need help with, I will answer, but also other members who that might be their area of expertise will also answer. So I don't know much about cookies, but we do have a cookie expert in there, so if you've got a cookie question, she can answer that. But it's more than that. It's more than a group where you just ask cake questions. There's people sharing their days out, their family, what they're up to, exciting journeys of people back getting their first cake shops or their first tea rooms. And that's what you get just for your £2 membership. And then there's obviously a £5 membership, an £8 membership, and a £16 membership. And each time the price goes up, you get more perks for that tier. Now I've completely forgotten why I started telling you this. What was I talking about? I do this all the time. Oh yeah, that was it. So one of our members in the Facebook group had mentioned she had started Christmas shopping, and that just sparked me to start my Christmas shopping. We're going to have to spread the money out from now until December. And I always have my little Christmas spreadsheet, so I make a spreadsheet with each person and how much I'm going to spend, and ideas for things that they might want, and then I have little ticks when how much I've spent, whether I bought it or not, has it arrived in the post, have I wrapped it, and I get little ticks. So yeah, that's where I was going. She was talking about Christmas presents, and I've started my Christmas shopping. But yeah, I would love it if you would come and join us. Like I said, membership is just from £2 a month. You don't have to go straight into the £16 tier. The £16 tier is where you get cherry mail in the mail every couple of months with a themed box. It can have cake items in it, it can have other goodies in it. We also have Zoom calls for the cupcake and cherry tier. So if you're a cupcake, that's £8. We have a Zoom call every other month. And the cupcake tier is also the one where you enter challenges. So like the cake I'm making this week is part of that challenge. The Sugar Lumps, which is a £5 tier, that's where you get your digital downloads. So I'm drawing these cupcakes, Disney inspired cupcakes, and I turn them into little wallpapers for your phones. So just, it's always linked in the description box. You can go and have a look, see which tier might be for you, but we would love to have you. I think there's about 20 spots available before I then shut it. Because like I said, I don't want it to get too big. I want to keep it nice and small and intimate. But if you have asked me a cake question, I've literally got an email this morning. I get emails every day. Multiple emails every day, whether that be on Instagram, Facebook, or through my contact form on my website. I used to be able to help so many cake makers. In fact, I answered that many, it got well known that I would answer your question, and then people will go, oh, well, just ask her, she will tell you. And I came across posts like that, and it got to the point where I was answering at least 20 people a day. I was designing people's cakes. Like, people will come to me and say, I've got this client who wants this and this, I'm really struggling. I'd end up designing their entire cake. Like, that's the cake designer's job, and I was designing their cakes for them and giving them ideas, and how do I make my buttercream white, how do I do this, how did you do that, where did you get this from? And I was answering so many people every day, and I did that for years. We are talking 10 years plus, and because I got known for being helpful and answering people's questions, it kind of got abused a little bit, and it got to the point where I just cannot answer anymore because there's too many questions coming in every single day. So I've set up a automated response now that if they're looking for a cake come to my contact form and fill it in if you want a cake. If you are looking for cake help, i.e. you've got a cake question, please come and join the Brigade, because the Brigade, for that £2 a month, you can ask as many questions as you want and you're going to get an answer from me, because the Brigade is my priority. They are always going to get an answer from me for £2 a month. I've had to stop helping people for free now just because it's impossible to keep up with the amount, and I've woken up to emails already where they've already had that kickback to say, if you've got a cake question, please join the Brigade, and what they've done is instead just gone to my contact form and asked me again. So they've asked me on Facebook and now they've asked me through my contact form and completely ignored where I've kind of guided them to the Brigade. So just to give you some idea of what I have to deal with on a daily basis, I get so many questions and I really would love to help you all, just like I have over the past 10 years, but it's just got insane and I can't do it anymore. But I don't think like £2 a month is quite good to be able to ask unlimited questions. I don't know if you feel like you would like something like that. Like I said, it's always linked in the description box of the video, and at least you're guaranteed an answer, because I've just had to stop helping people, as bad as that sounds. Like, I've got my own cakes to design and they can take hours. I haven't got the time to design somebody else's. Unless you're in the Brigade, I have all the time in the world for the people in the Brigade. I will happily help design your cakes for you. But yeah, I've just had to prioritise, and my Brigadiers now come first. I just feel like I've done my bit. I've done my bit for 10 years now. But I have more editing to do today. I've actually got 3 videos on the go. I've got the vlog, I've got the Squishmallow tutorial, and I've got the pop-it board tutorial, and I have actually another tutorial in the works as well. So that's 4 videos I am trying to work on this week, as well as some more cake designs I've actually got them drawn out. I don't want to show you too much and spoil the challenge. But yeah, it's turned out to be a very busy week, because obviously now I don't have the wedding cake. I just have to fill my time with other stuff that needed to get done. So I'm doing a lot of more editing today. It's very boring for you to watch, so I won't bother filming it. But I think I'm actually going to end the vlog here, because I felt like I've just been talking for a long time and that's going to fill the vlog up quite a bit. So thank you very much for watching. Thank you very much for sticking to the end of this video, and keep your eyes peeled for all the tutorials coming soon. One going up tonight actually is the floral hoop wedding cake, so that's already gone up. Go back and watch that if you've missed it, and I will see you again in a couple of weeks.